Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. I will be streaming tonight right here on the channel and on Twitch around 5 p.m. U.S. Central Time, so make sure to come out for that. And now let's take a look at these DevBlogs. Well, call me Nostradamus. Sure enough, after I get done editing and uploading the video for today in its original form, Wargaming goes and releases another DevBlog a few hours later. So this DevBlog brings in some even more exciting information, including an entire tech line of Spanish cruisers for the Spanish nation, which is a separate nation in game, along with a new Dutch cruiser, a new German cruiser, and a new Pan-Asian cruiser. So we're going to go ahead and get on into this because, well, I got to film more background footage for this video now. I'm going to try and get through this as quick as possible, and also as covering it as accurately as possible. So again, link to this one will be in the description down below with the other two. So, new ships closed testing 12.4. A branch of Spanish cruisers have been added to the game for testing, as well as Dutch cruiser Van Speijk, German cruiser Schill, and Pan-Asian cruiser Lushun. For the upcoming closed testing session, a branch of Spanish cruisers will be added to the game. Ships of this branch rely on main battery guns with good firing range. They are also armed with torpedoes, which have short range. These ships have good concealment but mediocre maneuverability. Starting from Tier 7, the ships gain access to the Burst Fire Alternative Mode, which additionally increases AP shell penetration and damage. Main battery guns have flat ballistics but low damage per minute. The ships also have high speed. The new ships have a good choice of consumables, hydroacoustic search starting from Tier 4, and the option to instead equip DFAA in the same slot starting from Tier 6. Repair party and fighter or spotting aircraft in one slot starting from Tier 7. So you get repair party and fighter or spotter from Tier 7. That's a pretty good combo right there. Most of the cruisers in the game, they don't get their repairs until Tier 8, Tier 9-ish, so that's kind of, well, it's concerning and kind of good to know that, hey, at Tier 7 you'll get your repair party, but that also means that these ships probably have pretty low survivability as well, and they do include, it looks like most of them here. Alright, so let's run through them real quick. Spanish cruiser Jupiter, Tier 1. In the 1930s, Spain began building a new class of mine layers, all named after Roman gods. Jupiter-class ships were also to serve as gunboats, for which they received effective gunnery. While under construction, the lead ship of the Jupiter class was captured by the Nationalists during the Spanish Civil War. After commissioning, the ship participated in the blockade of the Republican coast in the Bay of Biscay by intercepting transports and setting up minefields. The same minefields that caused the sinking of the Nationalist battleship España in April of 1937. Then we have the Mendez Nunez, I believe. The ship's Blas de Lezo. Oh my god, I'm going to butcher this, although, I don't know, I should know some Spanglish. Blas de Lezo and Mendez Nunez, based on the British C-class cruisers, were laid down in 1917. Since the first ship of the class couldn't be completed in time for the 100th birthday of its intended namesake, Admiral Mendez Nunez, in 1924, the names were switched around and Mendez Nunez became the name of the second ship of the class. With the outbreak of the Civil War, the crew of the cruiser Mendez Nunez remained on the side of the Republicans. During the war, the cruisers escorted merchant ships and took part in the battle at Cape Palos in 1938. Mendez Nunez was damaged by nationalist bombers. Okay. Spanish cruisers Navarra, Tier 3. Named after the wife of the reigning king of Spain at the time, Victoria Eugene of Battenberg. Hey, this ship was laid down in March 1915. The project was based on British cruiser Birmingham, and I can see that. In 1920-26, the ship took part in the Rif War. In 1928-29, she underwent a major overhaul, and in 1930, she was transferred to the Naval School in Cadiz. With the proclamation of the Second Spanish Republic, the cruiser was renamed Republica. With the outbreak of the Civil War, the ship went over to the side of the Nationalists in 1937, changed its name again, this time to Navarra. Alright. Spanish cruiser Almirante Severa, Tier 4. In 1922, with the British company Armstrong, a project was created for the new Spanish cruisers of the Spanish fleet. The project was based on British E-class cruisers and took into account the experiences of World War I. The Spanish cruisers differed from the prototype in the location of the power plant. At the beginning of the Civil War, a fight took place on the cruiser Almirante Cervera. Republican loyalists tried to take the ship out of port, but were defeated by nationalist officers. The cruiser took part in the blockade of the coast, supported the advance of troops with fire, escorted convoys, and participated in the Battle of Cape Palos. Alright. The Tier 5, the Galicia. The cruiser Príncipe Alfonso was renamed Libertad with the formation of the Republic. With the outbreak of the Civil War, the ship remained on the side of the Republic, although it was commanded by a cousin of Francisco Franco. At Cape Tenes, Libertad scored several hits on the nationalist heavy cruiser Baleares, and at Cape Palos she engaged both enemy heavy cruisers. The ship was later damaged by several Italian air raids. When Libertad fell into the hands of the Francoist government, it received the name Galicia. Okay. So I'm going to butcher some of these names. Spanish cruiser Baleares, Tier 6. In 1926, Spain ordered 2 modern Washington Treaty cruisers. Vickers Armstrong created a project based on the County-class cruisers with increased air defense and armor. The cruisers were named Canarias and Baleares, that looks familiar, after the major Spanish archipelagos. The construction was delayed, but the nationalists who seized the shipyards forced the completion of the cruisers. Baleares participated in the attack on Malaga and the hunt for transports, raids on coastal fortifications, and the bombardment of cities. The cruisers were sunk by Republican destroyers at the Battle of Cape Palos. Alright. Spanish cruiser Asturias, Tier 7. So this is when they start getting hills. Ties between the government of fascist Italy and the... Why are they giving Italian cruisers to everybody? The Francoist regime strengthened after the latter claimed victory in the Spanish Civil War. These connections were also manifested in the field of naval construction. Spain planned to familiarize itself with the latest achievements in Italian shipbuilding in order to strengthen the fleet. The Italian company Alessandro developed 3 projects for a heavy cruiser for Spain, which differed from each other in the composition of their armament. One of the options included an armament composed of 4 203mm twin-gun mounts. So it seems here we're going paper shippy. I do appreciate that they managed to get real ship up to Tier 6, and now we're going to paper ship, but I mean, it would make sense, obviously, that, 2 fascist governments would obviously be buddies with each other. So, logical thing here in my mind so far. Spanish cruiser Cataluna, Tier 8. After the victory of the nationalists in the Civil War, ties between... Yeah, whatever. Anything different there? They just kind of say the same thing. Yeah, so this is sounding like the previous one, and it looks exactly like the previous one, too. The slightly different superstructure and maybe a longer bow. But this one has 3 203 triple-mounted guns versus the 4 203 twin-mounted guns. So you have 9 guns versus 8 guns of 203s here at Tier 8. Alright, and then Tier 9. Okay. In parallel with the work of the construction... I'm sorry, I should probably tell you the name of it first. Andalusia, Tier 9. In parallel with the work on the construction and repair of ships for the fleet, Francoist Spain was also developing new ships. In 1939, 5 destroyer projects and several cruiser projects with a displacement of 7,920 to 1,900 tons were planned out. The largest was Project 138, a cruiser with a speed of 36 knots with different options for the main battery. The option of building a cruiser using the turrets from the battleship España was considered. The most common variant of the 3 triple-gun turrets with guns ranging in caliber of 200 to 254 millimeters. So, hold up a second. Does that mean does this have different caliber main battery guns? The most common variant is the 3 triple gun variants with guns ranging in caliber for 200 to 254. Okay, maybe that means there were different variants and that they range from 200 to 254 millimeters in caliber. I'm going to assume this is probably 203s, unless they're going with like the large cruiser thing here. They do have the stats here, so we'll take a look at that here in a second. But the Tier 9 looks pretty rad, if I do say so myself. Okay. And then the Tier 10, the Castilla. Simultaneously with their own development of heavy cruisers, Spanish engineers were in close contact with their Italian colleagues and adopted from them the latest achievements in the field of armor and armament of ships. The knowledge gained could well result in a project created on the basis of a synthesis of Italian and Spanish naval thought. The projects of the Osondo cruisers and the project of the Super Washington cruiser from the Ferrol shipyard. Alright, they keep going about Italians, but if you look at like the Castilla and the Andalusia, you can see that they do have the German 128 secondaries on there as well, which is interesting. Okay, let's see these stats. What Tier 9 and Tier 10, what caliber are we talking about here? Tier 9, 234. So 3x3, 234. So, ooh, wow. What's that reload time going to be, though? 14 seconds. Okay, not terrible. Obviously, you can get that down with modules and commander skills. 48,300 hit points, 25mm plating, and 30-second fires, too. 234mm guns with 30-second fires. Okay, okay. Damage counter, repair party, hydro, and fighter or spotter for the Tier 9. For the Tier 10, the Castilla, 51,000 HP, 25mm plating, still 30-second fire duration. 254mm guns here, 9 254s. Oh boy, oh boy. Let me just double check before I tell y'all the wrong. Yeah, 10 inches. Okay. So 10-inch guns, 10-inch guns. Okay, cool, cool. I'm here for this. 13-second reload time 2 on the Tier 10. Again, with modules, you can get that down. Range is 17.1 kilometers, so kind of short range. But again, modules, you can get that out too. So I wonder, what's their armor going to be like? So they keep saying Italian, and if it's like a Napoli armor, that's very good, obviously. That's going to kind of wreck face. They don't have torpedoes, it seems like, so far. So they're gun cruisers, right? So main battery. Oh no, they do have torpedoes. Okay, so the Tier 9 has 2x4 533s. The Tier 10 has 2x5 533s. Oh god. Okay, wow. What about the lower tiers? Tier 8 has, yep, 2x4 533s. Yeah, 533s in the Tier 8. Tier 7 has 533s as well. Alright, okay, so, wow. These are, wow, okay. I want to know more. These have gotten my attention for sure. The Tier 10 has 1,628mm guns, by the way, for its secondaries, if you're wondering. So, Tier 10, again, damage counter, repair party, hydro, fighter, spotter. Alright, I'm here for this wargaming. You have my attention with these Spanish cruisers. Wow, alright. What a pleasant surprise. I want to know more. They do have the burst fire mode. Keep that in mind. Which improves the penetration of the AP. Correct? That's what they said at the beginning of this, right? Right. Yeah, it increases AP shell penetration and oh my god. So you get burst fire 10-inch guns. God. Okay. They do have HE2. Do they say burst time? So it gives them a 20% bonus to the AP shell damage and 100% bonus to the, oh my god, to the pin. So it doubles the pin and gives you 20% more damage on, with the Castilla, 9 10-inch guns. Alright. And what's the reload time of the burst? 1.2 seconds. So you get, oh god. Okay, but it's two salvos. So you get 18 10-inch shells with a 20% AP damage and double pins in 1.2 seconds. Alright. We will watch their career with great interest. Now let's go ahead and look at the other ships, like the Schill, the Tier 8 German cruiser. Late 1930s, the leadership of the German Navy developed a project for a naval blockade of Great Britain using its raiding forces. The main striking force in this regards was to be 12 P-class ships, created on the basis of the development of the Deutschland-class pocket battleships. And someone got really mad one time that I kept in my GraphShP video, I kept calling it a pocket battleship. Well, here, Wargaming themselves calls them pocket battleships. 1939, contract was signed with shipyards for the construction of these ships, but the order was subsequently cancelled in favor of the O-class battlecruiser. In the original documentation, this type of ship is indicated as, oh god, as Raider. We're going to go with that. I can say some German, but Handelszerstörer. That's all you're getting from me out of that. The cruiser is armed with 6 283mm main battery guns with good accuracy and flat ballistics, but low damage per minute. Her AP shells deal high damage. Her AP shells have good armor penetration, but they deal low damage for German HE. The ship has good HP and armor and well-protected citadel, but bad concealment. Alright, so let's see the Schill, 56,800 hit points at tier 8, 27mm plating at tier 8. That is very good for tier 8. 30-second burn time. Consumables, damage con, hydro, DFA, and fighter. No heal, okay? No heal. Main battery AP shell damage 8,400, 910 meters a second AP velocity, 16-second reload time though. Oof, there you go. Only on 6 guns. Yeah, so we'll see how this thing comes out. It's going to depend upon how accurate her guns actually are. They do say they have good accuracy and flat ballistics, but we'll see if that comes to be true in the game. Alright, Dutch cruiser Van Speijk, tier 9. So it looks like the Dutch get a super cruiser as well. Well, a large cruiser now. 1938, against the backdrop of international tensions, the Dutch Ministry of Defense decided to strengthen the fleet. 1939, projects were readied, most similar to the German Scharnhorst. In order to save money, it was decided to reduce the size of the ship. The government was inclined towards the option of a 16,000-ton cruiser with a speed of 33 knots, the main battery in a caliber of 240 to 280 millimeters. But in order to provide sufficient armor, it had to be reduced to a smaller caliber, 203. If the project had been further developed at the end of World War II, the ship could have received enhanced air defenses. The cruiser is armed with 9 230mm guns with good damage per minute and an airstrike, HE bombs, which has good range. The ship has a well-protected citadel and good concealment. However, guns have a short firing range and airstrike has a long cooldown and a low number of charges. The consumables are represented by hydroacoustic search, DFAA, and repair party. Repair party with short cooldowns. Okay. Alright, the stats for her... Okay, no, the stats for her are out. It's after the Lushun. The Lushun, in 1949 to 1956, there was a program of scientific and technical assistance between the USSR and the PRC, under which the Soviets transferred to China. Among other things... Oh, is this Chinese, Chinese zombie ship? Is this Chinese zombie ship? I think this is Chinese zombie ship. Yeah, so just the Lushun stats are here. They don't give us the stats for... the Van Speijk. Does it have the heal? Does it have the crazy heal? No, it doesn't. Okay, so hold up. Maybe it's not the ship I'm thinking of. Type 51 missile destroyers are built, which were based on Soviet Project 41. Not built China 68. Over to China. Lushun is armed with 430mm main battery guns with flat ballistics and 10 torpedo tubes with regular torpedoes with a relatively short range. The ship can effectively make use of her torpedoes thanks to her torpedo reload booster and good concealment values. At the same time, she deals low damage per minute due to a low number of guns and has no engine boost consumable. Okay, so it's a Soviet boat given to the Chinese? Okay. So she has, 130mm guns. She gets 4 of those. What's the reload time of those guns? 4 second space. Again, no heal for a tier 10 DD. Torpedoes 2x5s, 533s. Range of 10 kilometers. You can make that work with torpedo reload booster. Alright. Well, okay, Spanish cruisers I am super excited about. I want to know more about them. They are heavy cruisers, which is very cool. Looks like they're going to be pretty AP focused and pretty short range focused as well. So I am very excited to hear that. It's always good to see. The Schill, very interested in getting the the P-class cruisers in game. Although tier 8 with no heal and good armor, they're going to get chunked to death by tier 10s, I can imagine. But we'll see how she does when she comes out. Speijk, we have no information about her other than her concept. So it's basically a smaller golden line with 203s instead of the shorter caliber guns. So this should be interesting to see how this one does. And then Lushun, again, just Soviet copy paste Chinese DD, it seems like, for now. So let's take a month to upload this video in a separate on a separate day, because this is a 20-minute video, and I was going through it pretty fast, hoping to get it in with yesterday's video. But man, that would make yesterday's video like 40 minutes long, and I don't want to have a 40-minute long video, because that's just that is too much. That is far too much. Because yeah, yesterday's video was 15 minutes, and then that'd be too much. Alright, so this will be Saturday's video. So hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. If you did enjoy the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 50,000 subscribers thanks to you guys, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful rest of that weekend too, and hope to catch you guys in the next one.